Bodega Nights in 3, 2, 1.
Hey. Hey,
Hey. Hey.
Welcome to Bodega Nights. My name is Martin. I have yet to get a goat head. Here in this episode with me is Radio Norm and Joao, who has a lot on his mind on some certain topic here in this episode. But before we get to that, Norm, how's your breakfast right now?
Doing good.
Coming straight at you from middle class Manila.
Yeah, cold brew weather.
Yeah.
Had to look up middle class just to make sure I was quoting myself right. Get it?
Yeah, mid. It sounds like the lane. And speaking of lanes, as of this recording, yesterday I heard was the alpha testing of some mobile game called LOL Wild Drip or Wild Drift.
The OG is coming back to mobile.
Yeah.
They came.
They came from mobile. Okay.
No. It's LOL. They started out as a PC game, so now they're finally on mobile now.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
They're gonna get a slice of the mobile pie, huh?
Yeah. The Dominator has always been Mobile Legends before, and they actually just ripped off League of Legends and put it on mobile. So now League of Legends is back to take its own.
Oh, hell. Yeah,
We'll see if all that time spent for players of Mobile Legends actually is to transferring to the OG of League of Legends.
Actually, good thought, Norm, because in the next episode of Third World Gaming, we'll have a guest that will talk about that and certain mobile games that he's been playing. Yes, that's a plug.
I've seen
Plug.
I've seen his posting about it.
Plug.
Can my phone actually take it?
Can it riff though? A deer? A female deer?
But yeah.
Alright.
So, dude, Norm's becoming more and more of a dad joke machine.
Quarantine is the
Radio
things to
Norm.
people's IDs.
Wait, did I say Norm? I meant Martin. Martin is becoming more and more of a dad joke machine.
Wait, so which one, me or Norm? I don't get it.
Martin, you said though deer, female deer. Like, oh my god, that sounds
okay.
like the ultimate dad joke.
That's fine. We're of age.
I guess. Sorry, guys.
Some of them do have kids now.
We're of dad age.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
just to be fair to Norm and I, like both of us have started dressing like dads now.
Fashion?
Like,
What?
The freaking
Dude,
like.
I've been looking like a dad because I'm old and bald. I'm bald. Yeah. So, aside from that, guys. Oh no. Is this my internet effed up again? Guys?
I can still hear you. Man.
I can still hear you.
Oh, thank God.
So,
I got scared that I thought you guys got caught by the NBA for being tagged as a terrorist.
Wait.
Terrorist,
Before we
that
proceed, man. Before we proceed, all right? I would like to make it clear that we aren't trying to incite other people to commit acts of terrorism as defined in Section 4 of this law if it ends up entering into the law, you know?
Indeed. This is just opinion.
Yeah.
Opinion.
And may I remind
Thank God.
that advocacy, protest, dissent, and similar exercises of civil and political rights are protected under not only the Constitution, but apparently this law. So, you know.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Whatever we say is in the spirit of the exercise of our civil and political right to, like, free speech and stuff.
Whew.
I agree with Joao.
I'm just glad we have a former law student here who can hide our asses in case.
No.
This is why
I'm like the worst
we want you to
person
take the lead
take legal
here.
advice from.
And why is
They'd
that?
rather take legal advice from us? Yeah, right.
It's slightly better than,
Yeah.
our left asses on law.
I mean, like, I have a friend, but usually, he gets drunk and he's our lower batch. So, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, my thing.
Sup, I miss you. Miss your drunk ass. If you're listening.
So every now and then, the podcasts on channel14.com like to complain about the government. And I suppose today is going to be like no different to that.
Yes.
Just know that our complaints aren't inciting you to commit acts of terrorism, listeners, right? Just making sure that we're clear on that.
And what portion of that proposed law is that again?
Section... Wait, what? No, here. The thing that we keep on seeing on social media is an excerpt from Section 4 of the proposed law. And that is the section that defines acts of terrorism. So stuff like engaging in acts intended to cause extensive damage or destruction to government or public facilities, that sort of thing. Yeah. Oh, and what's it? The other thing that's been posted a lot is from Section 9, which reads, any person who, without taking any direct part in the commission of terrorism, shall incite others to the execution of the act specified in Section 4 by means of speeches, blah, 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 shall suffer the imprisonment of 12 years. So, what is, quote unquote, the danger to free speech is if it is interpreted that the stuff that you say is directed towards the incitement of terrorism, right? So that's it. But then there are a couple of interesting things in this law, right? So Section 4 defines, or at least this is the Senate bill version. I think this is the one that ended up making it to the office of the president. I'm not sure, but there is Section 4, which defines acts of terrorism, has right after it, when the purpose of such acts by its nature and context is to intimidate the general public or a segment thereof, or create an atmosphere or spread a message of fear to provoke or influence intimidation of the government or any of its international organizations, or to seriously destabilize or destroy fundamental political, economic, or social structures of the country, or create a public emergency, or seriously undermine public safety. So, the, quote, prohibited terrorist acts are counted as terrorism if they meet that criteria, right? It has to be something that by its nature or context is done to intimidate the general public, or is done to destabilize economic or social structures of the country, right? So if the intention of you killing somebody is to destroy the very fabric of our society, then it's terrorism. And if somebody says, hey, you should go off and kill somebody to do that, then you are guilty of inciting terrorism. But if it is found that whatever it is that you did is not to create an atmosphere or spread a message of fear, then it isn't terrorism. And further in the section, it says, provided that terrorism as defined in this section shall not include advocacy, protest, dissent, stoppage of work, individual or mass action, and other similar exercise of political and civil rights, which are not intended to cause death or serious physical harm to a person, to endanger a person's life, or create serious risk to public safety. In other words, people didn't read the section in its entirety, didn't read the acts that are considered punishable under this law in the context of the whole law. And people didn't read it in the context of the entire legal system, which happens to be very strict about the protection of free speech, right? Like, it's something that our Supreme Court has said over and over again is one of the most basic and fundamental rights in any democracy. So the law tends to protect free speech, and and any law that is passed must be understood in light of two things. One, the law itself. So if there is something in the law that seems to contradict free speech, but the law itself says provided that it doesn't hamper free speech, then you should read the thing that supposedly hampers free speech in light of the provision that says it's not supposed to. So you can say what you want unless it is intended to destabilize society, right? So that's it, right? And it's just sad that all of the stuff that came out on social media didn't take into consideration reading the law in the context of the stuff in the law, and reading the law in the context of our broader legal system, right? So it sucks. But my fear with this particular bill is that I think that the people that are tasked to enforce this bill are going to take the same amount of care that the average Filipino took in the enforcement of the law.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the problem.
Right? Like, there are problems with this law. There are problems with the bill. There are a lot of problems with the bill. Indefinite detention for 14, or not detention for 14 days. Extendable by another 10 days. The minimizing of liability for officers of the law that screwed up, essentially. Right? So these are problems with the bill. But the thing that seems to be getting the people most riled up are the things that, if you read the law in the context of our legal system, can sort of be interpreted in a way that it doesn't really violate our rights to free speech. However, the people tasked to enforce the law won't take the same care, or the people tasked to enforce the law are going to take exactly the same amount of care that the average Filipino did in reading the law.
That's the core of the problem, I believe. There's just the poor timing of it.
Yeah.
I mean, why this law of all time in the context of what we're going through now? Is there a terror issue right now in the Philippines for the bill to be brought up? It's the timing is in question. We don't know. But so the timing is definitely in question, and so you did point out the huge issue, which is the interpretation of the bill by our implementing officers, which have been known to take officials' word as if it was law without the actual law back.
Here's right, and how that can be sort of how a lot of the police officers here and a lot of the agencies that are supposed to implement the law on the ground don't follow what is in the law, but follow what they think is in the law. And a lot of what they think is in the law is informed by what media has to say, or it appears as though that how they enforce the law is based on what media has to say about the law.
I mean, it is a point to talk about it.
Right? Like, I think that's the problem. I think people are going to see this terror law. We're all interpreting it as police have the right to curtail or to like stop peaceful protest, even though under the provisions of the law itself, that should be something that is protected. Police officer doesn't read that part, but instead looks at the report that says police now have the authority to do this, and they do it.
Oh God, yeah.
And because our legal system is, and because our courts are really slow, and there is like this double standard when it comes to the enforcement of the law by law enforcement officers on the ground, even though in theory there is a lot less to be worried about, in practice it is something that could bring down the country.
We will.
By the way, I would like to think that I just pissed off everybody on all sides with my little tirade.
Kind of. I mean, it's...
So are we gonna crucify you or something? No.
You were exercising your freedom of speech. You took your two brain cells,
exercising your free
together.
speech. Yeah.
But there,
come on.
I'd like to think that that's my. I'd like to think that that's my view on it, right? Like,
but
it's gone. It isn't wrong per se to have a bill that or to have a law that addresses terrorism. Like, fine, it would be better if we rely on the Penal Code of the Security Act, but whatever. Like, it's just how it's going to play out.
Okay.
That is my problem.
All right. Tinfoil hat on. The assumption, the crux of your argument is that the authorities, the implementing officers, read the news. when there have been instances where it shows that despite despite news media breaking a new law or reporting on new developments and new policies, there delay in communicating that policy internally, and that's why despite the law being passed out on the media, it's not what they're following on the day itself. So let's say that the BGC moms thing, which is, the gig issued the gig city issued a policy memorandum. Well, anyway, they issued a decree saying that on June 1, moms and children can now go outside and exercise. Well, not just moms, but they can bring out their children and exercise. So, albeit while studying the social distancing rules and laws. But they have officers coming in and then yelling at these moms who brought their kids for bringing them out despite of the decree by the gig city government. Yeah, that is one of those things. They've addressed that already. Like, the gig city said that these were officers from a different place that they were lent out to help enforce curfew laws and social distancing. So I don't know. That might be it. It's not necessarily just the media's interpretation, but we also have to think they don't necessarily listen to what is all. They do have to hear from their chain of command. There we go, chain of command.
Yeah.
Okay, chain of command. But like we go back to the issue of interpretation, and it's like saying, I think we talked about this in a previous episode or before recording. Like someone's just looking for a false positive. It's like, Martin, promise me you're not gonna eat the donut. And I'm like, okay. But when one of you guys says, Martin, I think you can eat the donut. And like, you think I can? All right, I will. Okay, I will. I'm eating the donut now. Donut's eaten. Something like that. If they see something like something in the media or something else,
it's
chain of command, it's a go signal. Oh, I thought I can do that. Oh, I can do that now? Yeah, let's shoot him.
It's definitely a hard topic to come to a conclusion on because there's a lot of things to debate upon.
A lot of factors.
So,
yeah.
But it is a lot of things to think about. That's the important part. It's that you think about it and come to your own conclusions.
Yeah.
We can agree on.
So like
that's why I can see
that which is legal
point of view.
Wait, huh? It isn't so much. Well, here, I think my point really is that which is legal is not necessarily that which is implemented.
Yeah. We were taught, like I think Polgov, whoever the hell that teacher was.
That was
sometimes.
Oh man, I was a Polgov teacher.
Great, but
I taught Philippine politics and governance for like 2 years.
Holy really?
Like a year.
My friend also taught that too in his school.
Oh no! Did he create?
So like I said, like you thought, he thought. And we're going back to the interpretation and implementations of laws and things that were taught. That's why I said I agree with your view. And going back to the Polgov thing, even then we were taught that, okay, laws may be good, but sometimes it's in the implementation that gets effed up. And then going to my majors, that's where we were talking about in in management governance, like there's money. Whoa. Okay, I got a text as well now. What's happening?
It's the sound of my phone on the table.
Okay.
Okay. So
this is weird. You might get the next text, Norm, but I don't know why. I have a feeling.
All right.
I have a feeling.
I'm gonna wait for that domino to fall.
But
I guess we've heard from the government and what laws we've heard from the media and how they're reporting on it, but the implementing bodies are kind of quiet, and I guess it's the voice that we do kind of want to hear about when it comes to, okay, this is how we're interpreting the law and how we're implementing it. We don't hear that, so we're kind of freaking out about the implications of it.
Yeah. That's the hard part. And that's the scary part of this if it gets passed.
Get a text.
I knew it! I knew it! God damn it. Something's going on. I don't know why. We're just getting all paranoid. Like new things that have similar names of ours on Facebook popping up. Friends reporting it on our end. Us reporting it on our own end. Like, oh gosh.
Now is like a horrible time for us on social media and for social media to be dominated by a lot of paid trolls.
Yep.
That's why.
And unpaid trolls. And
Just get off Facebook, man. Just get off Facebook.
yeah, that's true.
Facebook's part of my job, man.
Oh yeah,
Mine too, Joao. Mine too.
Well, yeah, so is mine, but like,
Oh yeah, good point.
you know,
There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack this week, and it's like there's so much news. I just want
we're
to
not
sit
even talking
down,
about-
play video
yeah.
games, and tune everything out. But it's like, how do we navigate our way around what is now our new normal? I hate that phrase, new normal, because everything's
new
new
norms.
every week, and there's some new going down.
yeah, man.
Speak
you know,
of-
our government does have too much power. Just like I would just like to say that is my constant position. The reason that I am squarely against this anti-terror bill is not because of all of the stuff that I mentioned and all of that, like the interpretation of it or whatever, but because it gives the government more power that can be used against its own citizens, regardless of who is in power.
Exactly. Like
Right.
after this administration, the next admin might go after the previous admin, like what's happening in the current admin.
Yeah,
But
and
most of them,
what
like, jump
happened
ship
in the
already.
admin before them.
Exactly. And
'Cause that's-
we're going back
that's
to
just
the
how it works,
systemic
man.
problem. Yeah. Like gantihan. It's funny because it's like a situation that always happens in the Filipino mindset, like gantihan tayo, di ba? I don't know why.
And it just gets gone, and it just seems to be getting worse and worse with each administration. And like more and more, we're giving our governments more and more ammunition that they can sort of use, right?
Can we go back to
The-
something that happened a decade ago, though, Joao?
which thing?
A lot of surveys way before this administration popped up. What were the problems of democracy? And they were saying, oh, we need a more authoritarian leader. And now these are the same voices that are bitching about the current admin being authoritarian.
Yeah.
Or being a bit of a Nazi.
Yeah.
You got what you wanted. Our
No,
user
they wanted
is
Lee
what you
Kuan Yew.
wanted.
No, they wanted Lee Kuan Yew. They
You
wanted
can't get
somebody
Lee Kuan
that's-
Yew here?
What they wanted was somebody that enforces freedom of speech at the point of gun, or at gunpoint. Like, you don't believe in freedom of speech, I'ma kill you. Like you don't believe in reproductive health rights, I'ma kill you. They wanted somebody that was authoritarian about the right things.
The right things on their right things.
Yeah. Like I'm just imagining, right? I'm just imagining if like the current administration used all of its power to do things like legalize marijuana, have a gay marriage, pass through like a gay marriage law, or a same-sex marriage law, expanded. Expanded safety nets for the poorest of the poor, and did it in the most authoritarian manner possible, and silenced everybody that was a dissenter. They were like, "Shut up, Catholic Church."
Hey, here's the funny part though. The current admin is blasting on the Catholic Church, and some of the opposition right now are saying, sobrang katoliko ka, DDS ka naman. I'm like, you do know most DDS also hate the church, right? Or you just don't want to say that because it's gonna falsify your arguments.
I don't know.
Right?
That's the thing, no? Like, I've come to that conclusion that people just want a dictator that's a dictator about the right things. Imagine, dictator uses all of his power to make sure that everybody gets megabit internet in the Philippines at an affordable price.
So it sounds like, Joe, that it's not really a dictator that people want. People just want decent governors.
Yes.
No, not really.
People just want decent people in government.
People just want a decent government.
That's what people
In
want.
essence, yes.
Whether it's in the form of a benevolent dictator or nicely ruled kingdom or
Well, I was addressing Martin's these people like 3 years ago wanted a dictator, and now that we got a dictator, they want something else. Like, I was speaking to that. Like, the people that the type of person that wanted a dictator that was right about, or that was a dictator about the right things. Because
and the right things is their view.
Like, let's imagine that somebody comes into power and that person is like really, and that person has all of the right ideas, but is destroyed by the political system that he or she was brought up in, right? Like, that's a concern. That's always a concern, because you might have great ideas, but by the time you're there, like, it's a completely different ball game because of all of the other forces that are trying to manipulate events, right? Like, like the reason that the Philippines opened up, that was probably the business community putting pressure on the government.
Oh yeah, we got that too here. But the ironic part is the government was delaying it, and it's the president who wants the economy here to be open. It's like an opposite situation here in South America right now. And now we're regretting it. And by Monday, like June 8th here, a few days ago, we opened the parks and the malls and I think churches. Now we're gonna reclose it for at least 3 days or 72 hours by Monday because of the rising cases.
Something like that happened in Cebu a couple of days ago. One of the supermarkets here like closed for 2 or 3 days to like completely disinfect everything because like they found a couple of their employees were positive for COVID-19, which kind of sucked, man, because like yung pa naman yung hard carry ng stock portfolio ko. Uh-oh.
Well, speaking of which, how is Cebu? Because something happened there. Want to talk about it?
Yeah, it's a
protest that actually happened like with social distancing. And the meme that was going on is like they were social distancing and the cops were not social distancing.
Yeah, it's
But you can't paint it that way because that's their tactics.
What's it? I just like this is why I step back from social media. Like I only give myself something like 30 minutes a day on my like Facebook account, and all of the rest of my social media is on the school's Facebook page, right? Within a set time period, right? So like as much as possible, when I find myself opening up Facebook or Twitter, I just like close it as quickly as I opened it, because we see a story that's developing and we form an opinion on a story that is developing, and once the story has developed, our opinion has already been locked in place.
Okay.
Right? It's sort of like how the George Floyd protests have been covered in the United States. Right? The way that it has been portrayed has been a lot of rioting, a lot of looting, etc., etc., and that was sort of the instant images that you got, and people have formed their opinion based on that. But after a little bit longer and after some more context, we find that that it had a lot to do with law enforcement and what law enforcement did to provoke riots.
Yeah.
Right? So if you had come in early, formed your opinion based on that, formed your opinion based on what was coming out initially, then you don't really once the larger story comes out, your opinion is already set in stone. And I would like to wait for the story to shake out when it comes to the UP arrests.
UP Cebu thing. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So my initial opinion is the police, because that's sort of how.
Amen.
That's sort of how what do you call it? That's sort of my larger sort of political, my larger sort of political framework, right? My larger political ideas have a lot to do with smaller government, remove power from the government, taxation is theft. So, the initial opinion is, the police. But I'd like to see the story shake out.
Like the developing things in the next few days.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. For me, it's like they were peacefully protesting. They're doing social distancing. I don't see the reason why you have to arrest them unless there was something that incited a certain behavior that might have posed a specific threat to life, property, or something.
Yeah.
That might be the only reason why they got arrested.
So
we
that's
need to know what that is.
That's the thing. Or it could have been just been like a cop with an itchy trigger finger. But like I said, before I fully form an opinion, I'd like to see how it all shakes out.
It is worrying seeing some of the video clips out.
Yeah, it is scary. It's scary. And these are things that are happening. That one, the tweet about the bounty on Duterte and the teacher getting arrested, and this is not even happening with the terror bill signed. These are the things that we get to hear, we get to see posted like, oh, this happened already. What more was going to happen to us here when it gets signed?
Actually, I'm kind of worried about that whole. Everybody's worried about that. How the label terrorist is getting thrown a lot on the right before the terror bill gets signed. Like, really, you're calling every little thing dissent and terrorizing already? Who are we terrorizing? The Filipino citizens? No.
Right, and like I said, that isn't supposed to be how the bill is read and understood.
Yes.
Yeah, but the fear-mongering on both sides.
But my worry is law enforcement is going to read it like that, and it's going to take too long for the courts to be able to catch that. Because our dockets are full as it is.
Mm-hmm. And if I understand some of the articles recently, our judiciary isn't exactly equipped for remote work. Right?
Oh, wow.
Which brings us to
remote work.
Remote work. But before that, if you're listening, please subscribe to our Patreon account. It's on channel14.com. Every little bit counts.
Just know that donating to channel14.com, we aren't an organization. We're just, people.
We're just, trying to pay for our hosting and web server.
Yeah.
For the podcast.
That's it, basically, guys. I don't even get
because there's a provision that, there's a provision in the anti-terror bill that talks about. I like calling it that.
And there's the anti-terror bill.
Yeah, the anti-terror bill that talks about how one shouldn't, or that it is illegal or whatever to donate to an NGO that isn't accredited or something by the government. So we aren't an NGO here. So.
Really, crowdfunding has to run through the government now. I mean, what about my GoFundMe?
You have a GoFundMe?
No, but if I had a GoFundMe.
Do you have an OnlyFans?
No. The girlfriend would not allow me to have an OnlyFans. She'll be like,
not even a Ko-fi account.
Why do you need that?
Oh.
I think the world would be terrorized by me having an OnlyFans. That's that is criminal.
Hey.
Yeah. So, but
or maybe have some exclusive Radio Norm draft audio clips on Patreon before it gets released.
Oof. I mean, yeah, I can make some of the draft script on the Patreon before we record.
Please do be a monthly patron and help the site unsuck. That's patreon.com/channel14.
Yes. Actually,
and we ensure you, okay? This is coming from me, guys. None of that is gonna get in the hands of the government. You have my guarantee. Just private persons.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way, remote work.
Yes.
So how's Brazil, Martin?
Like I said, we just got the, churches were open, malls were open, parks were open. Now we're gonna close it down.
Why?
By Monday, because the cases from 1,000 or something just spiked to 10,000 here last week because we were slowly reopening everything in this district.
Sounds family.
No, the difference here is if you think we in Manila, we're already wearing masks, we're already social distancing except in public transportation because, we got to get in the office first. Here, most people do wear masks, but sometimes there's like some people who still don't wear masks or social distance, even though we're safe, even though we're being told. So, it's so laxed here. It's so lax.
There's a point of concern, and there's a point, there comes a point where I've done all I can. It's up to you now.
Yeah, we've done all we can. Yeah. It like I said, I think I mentioned this before. It feels like Fear the Walking Dead, the first 2 episodes. There's an immediate threat right there. There's a zombie horde somewhere out there, but it's like we're just walking like everything's normal. Like this thing ain't even existing. We're just adding a face mask in our faces, a face protector, and there's some plexiglass on the counter now when you pay. But that's it. That's it. Maybe some alcohol on your hand. You wash that with your hand. You enter the grocery, but that's it. It's like.
So you're wishing for a more draconian government in Brazil, Martin?
Yeah.
It's like, can some people be not so relaxed, or they're just, I don't know. Is this the YOLO thing that's happening in Sweden?
It's really hard.
Is this it?
Yeah. Well, it could be that a lot of people are just accepting this a part of their life, except for the fact that they still have to wear face masks and stay away from other people.
I hope so. Maybe I'm just culture shocked, guys. Maybe I'm just culture shocked. It's been just 4 months or less.
You haven't really what's the term I'm looking for? You haven't really
acclimated.
Yeah, and like this whole COVID, this whole pandemic sort of stopped you from entering into like Brazilian culture and society, with the exception of like your cheese bread.
Oh, pão de queijo, yeah.
Right. That's basically like COVID was already a thing by the time Martin was there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, that first episode was great, dude. That first episode of Martin in Brazil was great, where like...
What?
Oh, what did I say? What? Nothing.
Does that count as mass gatherings?
I'm gonna censor that out, dude. Oh my god.
And we're back.
I'm sorry, that went dark. I'm sorry.
Well, let's turn on the light because that got dark.
Yep. You'll only hear what I said if you're a monthly patron.
And maybe not even then.
Let's not make that promise, dude.
No, let's not. Right. But it has like given me the incentive to use these food delivery apps, and they're kind of good. Only one instance where someone effed up my order. Like, I had a dessert order, and they said, "Oh no, the guy of the restaurant didn't give me." And I asked, "So you're near? Can you just get it and bring it back here?" "Oh no, you have to go to the app and complain to the guy." And I'm like, the only reason why I got you guys to deliver this is I'm too lazy to go like across the street and 1 or 1.5 blocks away where I can get the food myself.
Wait. you used like an Uber Eats for a restaurant that was literally across the street.
Yeah, remember, I have a problem of language barrier and the fear of COVID. So those 2 factors. And I'm like, you know what? F you, I'm getting my dessert anyway. I'll just tell him, yeah, the delivery guy didn't come back here just to get it. Oh, I'm sorry. He should. So like, instead of complaining to the app about the restaurant, thank God I didn't review it yet. I'm like, you know what, delivery guy, F you lazy mother trucker. Also, I'm also a lazy mother trucker, but I'm also scared of my ass for COVID. That's the reason why I told you to deliver in my apartment.
Well, that's so bad.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of that.
Of him delivering is for me not to go in line.
There's a line?
And get possibly infected.
I'm reminded of that South Park movie where like they let people of a certain race go first when there is like war.
Oh wait, is that Canada on strike? Oh, Canada versus America, right? Yeah, that was the war. Oh man. I'm sorry if my story sounds privileged, but it's...
Check mark.
Check your privilege, Martha. Check your privilege.
Oh no. Oh, I'm getting...
Turn on the light.
I'm woken up now, man. But yeah, that's the only problem I've encountered for delivery apps here, but god damn, it's so awesome here to like have your food delivered. It's easy. It's simple.
It's right around the corner.
I never tried it in Manila. I don't know why. I guess... yeah.
What was that, Nor?
For me, it's kind of hard. It's for my experience with delivery apps in Manila. It's kind of hard. It's I have to wait 2 hours. I have to book if I want something to be delivered by lunchtime, I have to be booking by 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Yeah, I could be waiting up to an hour or a little bit more just to get a rider.
Even though it's like
to go to the store.
Oh yeah, so that's 6. But how far is the store? Like a kilometer or
About
2
4.
kilometers?
I mean, it will definitely be faster if I just pick it up, but it's not safe.
See? Yeah, what I'm saying. That's why I just went there and got my dessert.
I don't know. In Cebu, it doesn't seem to be as bad. I mean, it was tough at one point. Like right at the height of the lockdown, it took forever to get a rider because there probably weren't very many of them. But like nowadays, it doesn't really take that long because of
More riders.
Yeah, because of more riders. Because like a lot of these like delivery apps and whatnot have been pushing recruitment lately. And with quite a large number of people out of work, and a lot of these people that are out of work having like motorcycles because that's a fairly cheap mode of transportation that your average sort of middle class Cebuano can afford. A lot more people seem to be plying the streets as riders for whatever delivery app like you have. So I don't know. It's like a supply meeting demand kind of thing.
It's definitely a supply meeting demand kind of thing. If I remember correctly, there's a hard limit for how many TNVS delivery riders can be on the road, max for any app.
Yeah, but you think that's going to stop the free market? Taxation is theft.
That's not gonna stop people from trying to order, but the maximum number of scooters, the last time I checked at least, was definitely. So if you're a Grab rider or a Food Panda or a Mr. Speedy rider or whatever, you're of the total. So you might as well just sign up to all the apps because they're all the same.
Yeah, actually,
that's what they do here too. Like if you're on Uber Eats, your bike may be an iFood or a Ropi.
A what?
I don't know. It's a Rope. I don't know. It's like the other Uber Eats thing here.
Okay.
Brazil.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's funny, right? Because like you order something from like Grab Food or whatever, and the person that shows up has like Lala Move on his like motorcycle.
Yeah, it happens here.
More choice,
sort of like
more freedom.
Sort of like how drivers have both like Uber and Lyft stickers on their car and stuff.
Yes, exactly. It's kind of cool here. And it also goes to show how flexible the driver or rider can be. Like, at one point, he's delivering your food. At another, hey, where do you want to be dropped off? To your work? For some pizza? Yeah.
Here's your food. Now let's drive you to your workplace.
Yes, here's your food. Now let's go to your work.
The most first world thing I've ever heard to come out of Brazil. I have not been listening in on what is in Brazil, so...
You know, dude,
you don't want to know.
I'm gonna type this on. Type this into Google.
Okay. What are you Googling?
Brazil news.
Goathead?
Brazil news.
Don't.
Al Jazeera.
Do not.
Bolsonaro threatens WHO exit as Brazil's coronavirus toll soars. Oh my god.
Good old AJ.
From the Straits Times, 5-year-old boy's death sparks racism protest in Brazil.
Disaster looms in coronavirus hit Afghanistan. Oh, wait. Why is this Brazil news?
Yeah, huh? Anyway.
Like I said, things ain't sunny here, but okay.
Is it?
Boy.
You're in Brazil. It should be sunny.
It's actually winter right now here.
Oh yeah, you're in the southern hemisphere.
Yes.
You're in the southern hemisphere, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How's winter in Brazil?
Well, in our area it
Discontentful?
doesn't snow, but it's freaking it's freaking cold recently. I don't even have to use my aircon. I only used it last night. For the past week, I could just sleep, and I'm still feeling cold. In the afternoon, it's freaking cold, even though the sun is up. I don't know why.
Hospitals in Brazil's Sao Paulo near collapse.
Yeah, man. Like I said, Sao Paulo and the other southern states are hit hard.
Oh wait, did we already talk about the
That's right,
hospitals going after PhilHealth in the previous episode?
Oh no! Oh no! That's,
Oh yeah. We brought it up in a unrecorded Bodega Nights reunion.
Yeah. But yeah, we can only get so much from PhilHealth. It's like an insurance now, technically. Wait, it is an insurance. Oh,
It's not an insurance.
is it?
Actually, I don't know what PhilHealth is for. It's kind of, it's supposed to be
kind of
healthcare
is.
support, I guess.
But it
Yes,
is.
it is. Yeah.
But it's like government mandated.
Yeah, it is.
Anyway, the worry there is about if it's true, then you have 300 hospitals ish, a whole population who is in danger of financially collapsing. So, not now, guys. This is not the time for that. I'm actually worried about how the hospitals are coping, given that the situation has not really changed, and supply lines for medical equipment have not necessarily gotten better. I imagine it's like people are still asking for protective equipment and whatnot.
Wait, sorry, I'm still looking at like Brazil news. What's
Are you looking for goats, Joao? I think you're looking for goats.
I mean, like, initially I was looking for goats, but I'm worried about Bolsonaro, dude.
Why are you worried about him? He just rode a freaking horse without a mask and ate a hot dog. He's fine. He's just fine. Leave the crazy man alone.
Why is he threatening a WHO exit?
Because he finally found out that it's pro-China. Or he just wants to blame something. He just wants...
See, he doesn't necessarily read the news.
You expect leaders to read? They're here to lead, not read. Something about that line in the Simpsons movie.
They read headlines.
Yeah, they read headlines.
Like most people on social media, it's just the headlines and I will react to.
Yeah, just like Clinton before in late 90s, just the head.
Is that a NC-16 joke?
We're going 90s.
Political
So the
commentary.
left thought they were safe.
It used to be that,
Okay, I'm
these
good.
kind of things, leaders would cause them to resign, impeachment. Now we're up to murder and nothing.
Yep. It's kind of cool because we were taught about this topic of impunity.
Impunity or immunity? Because those are different.
No, both of them. Immunity and impunity. It goes both ways. Oh, man. The stuff that can be taught in the next decade after this is all happening.
In 1 year.
And while it's still happening in 1 year.
Wait, so like I opened the news story about Bolsonaro wanting to leave WHO on Al Jazeera. It's like the picture there has him looking all like, yeah, happy. And like, I don't got a mask on and stuff. And then like you see somebody like standing next to him from the BGP that's just looking like, oh my God, I'm so
Well, the health minister here kind of resigned a month or two ago, so... Yeah.
Yeah, there, man.
been rolling
dropping a link in the chat.
Which will also be on the show.
Yeah, which
Maybe
should be the show
not.
notes. My God.
Maybe.
All right, there. I'm pasting it in the chat for the show notes. But just look at the picture and the dude from like the security from the PGB or from the BGP. Like,
Are we talking about the Nutcracker?
Yeah. That's their like presidential guard.
Yeah.
Oh. He looks very like concerned. Like, what is happening? I have to maintain emotional stability.
But I think it's like, I don't know. It's like calling a kettle, the other kettle black, because we know what the Who's been hiding. They were hiding about Taiwan's, successful COVID management because they're so pro-China. I'm sorry, Who, but who the hell are you? I think that's the kind of thinking that, wow, I think America pulled out of Who as well, and some people's like, oh, that's a dumb move. Like, yeah, right. Who's in bed with China? Isn't that the smartest move he'd ever did in his current term? Now, I think this might be slightly the smartest thing, but I think the only reason why someone's pulling out now is because they hurt his feelings. And a similar situation we have, huh?
Free Hong Kong. Revolution of our times.